Hello, amazing person. Welcome to season 2 of Dear Catalyst Coach podcast. I'm your host, Rebecca Cooley. My specialty is helping leaders like you go rogue. Each week, I offer a reading and unpack my blog post, sharing additional stories from my life, including how I went rogue. Rebecca's Gone Rogue is one of my favorite ways of being described by one of my previous employers. I'm very proud of my legacy. Plus, I go deep on all things introversion, leadership, career shifts, stress reduction. I'll be answering questions like, how do I overcome imposter syndrome? How do I reduce public speaking anxiety? How do I reduce my negative self-talk? So tune in each week and let's go rogue together. Get inspired to take action, to go rogue in your life, to start an inner revolution, and to be the catalyst in your own life. Wishing you lots of peace, joy, and freedom. Hello, wonderful person. Welcome to this week's episode, How to Love the People in Your Life, including your family, your friend family, workplace family, and global human family. Cultivating safe relationships. Your perceptions, words, actions matter. To the brave souls who have chosen to live away from their families, I commend you. It isn't easy, and yet you made that choice. Whatever your reasons, here you are. You've found yourself in this place, in this time, surrounded by these specific people. They are not your people, but they are. If you're like me, you've created your own friend family, a group of people, a tribe, where each person is valued and loved for exactly who they are and their own uniqueness. Each person in your friend family has a unique voice which is heard, listened to, appreciated. Maybe you didn't have this in your family of origin, but you have it now. Maybe you're still searching for your friend family. They are out there. There is a reason you're here. It's not an accident. You could be anywhere, but you're here. Who are the people whose lives you will impact? Who do you get up for in the morning? Who in your life do you cherish so much that you would move through your day and take actions for? Who do you support, care for, love? Who is as much a gift to you as you are to them? These people mean so much. It's no small thing to live apart from your family of origin. If you are like me, the choice to leave ranged from neutral to deliberate. We cannot choose the people in our original family, but we can choose our friend family, and beyond that, we have made a choice to live in a certain location to make our home in this place and time. Realize the people you interact with every day, those you know well, those you have yet to develop relationships with. Every single one of them has the potential to be your people. So you're here for them. How will you impact their lives today? What will you do? What will you say? That will let them know that you care, let them know that they matter. Every day, every moment is an opportunity to share yourself, to give what you can to the people in your life. They don't have to be related to you by blood. They can be your friend family that you've cultivated over years of vulnerability, releasing your defenses, showing up authentically and humbly. Or they can be your workplace family or your bigger global human family who need you no less. So what does it mean to give, to live your life to the benefit of others every day? It does not mean you deplete yourself. It does not mean you're self-sacrificial. It does not mean that you do not function from a solid base of connection and compassion for self. It does mean realizing that this life is a dual journey of connection with self and connection with others. And through that realization, coming to the understanding as we love our own selves and cultivate peace within ourselves, we can be loving and peaceful with others. And ultimately, our loving, peaceful way ripples out, not only to our immediate family and friend family, but also to our workplace family and our greater human family, including the strangers we interact with every day for whom our peaceful, loving presence and gentleness may be a much-needed soothing balm to a heart in deep need of connection. We humans have an amazing capacity to help each other heal from past hurts with other humans. We also have a similar capacity to perpetuate that hurt. So creating safety for each other, cultivating environments where everyone in our global tribe can be heard, listened to, respected, honored, cherished, accepted for exactly who they are, can be the focus of our interactions in each of our days. If you yourself feel unsafe with our greater human family, in your workplace family, or among your family, as so many of my introvert coaching partners do, instead of focusing on your own feeling of unsafe, focus on how you can help the people around you feel safe, honored, heard, accepted, and cherished. Redirect the focus from you to them. If there is someone in your life or workplace who feels unsafe, perhaps they display bullying tendencies or are seemingly intentionally intimidating to speak to, remember you are safe, even when others are being threatening, in that you have a voice to speak up and a body to leave, and you have your own back. And it's important in these scenarios to speak and or move. And yes, even the bully is experiencing a feeling of unsafe, which is typically the root cause of their behavior. If you're able to speak to the bully from a place of compassion and understanding, remembering that they too feel unsafe, you've offered even the bully a chance to remember and re-access their humanity. If you yourself are inaccurately viewed as unsafe, intimidating, unapproachable, snobbish, unfriendly by the people in your life, look deeply at what behaviors you engage in, including verbal and nonverbal, which are contributing to that incorrect perception of you. Look deeply at whether you feel safe or threatened by the people in your life. You may be unconsciously communicating with your body language and tone that you do not feel safe with others, that you want others to keep their distance from you. You may be unknowingly displaying dominant, aggressive, or other unfriendly nonverbal cues to keep others away, because truly deep down you feel unsafe, and what feels safe is to give off an air of intimidation and have others fear you or be intimidated by you, or simply to stay away from you as you give an air of unapproachability, rather than having them come close to you and connect to you, which feels too vulnerable to you and therefore unsafe. From my experience personally and my 15 years experience as a communication coach working closely with people who experience shyness, I've learned that people who experience social awkwardness, social anxiety, intense self-consciousness, fear in interpersonal communication, public speaking anxiety, and interview anxiety are typically unconsciously, sometimes consciously, putting out social cues in body language, tone, and behavior that are clearly communicating, stay away, or I don't feel safe with you, I'm not safe to be near, I will make you feel uncomfortable if you approach me, I don't want to connect with you, you're scary, I feel threatened by you, I don't like myself, I feel unsafe with myself, I'm embarrassed with myself, I am uncomfortable in my own skin, please don't look too closely at me. So this is our work, to be brave, honest, conscientious, and radical students of self, to look deeply and honestly at how we are viewed, how we view ourselves, and how we view others, to discern perception from reality, to shatter false beliefs about ourselves and about others, to cultivate a feeling of safe connection and compassion with our own selves, to offer that compassion to others, to connect authentically, lovingly, peacefully with those in our families, friend families, workplace families, and global human family, and to remember it's all about them and about making them feel safe, cherished, honored, respected, to remember how we impact each other in every interaction. So my wish for you today and always is to feel safe within your own self and to cultivate a greater sense of safety in all your interactions, realizing that you have much, much more of an impact than you realize on your immediate family, your friend family, your workplace family, and your global human family. Okay, let's unpack this week's episode. So I met up recently with a socially conscious left-leaning person, and the conversation obviously went to how do we as a society move toward the ideal of what could be. So I think this is it. I think it's about shifting our view of family and shifting who we feel responsible for. So with family, I know that we all kind of have a sense of, I feel responsible for my family. I'm responsible to my family. And if we could shift that view and expand the view of family, we'll talk more about that today. I think it's about taking care of each other in multiple ways at multiple levels, including emotionally. And I think it's about realizing the impact we have on each other in every single interaction. I know that there is this general feeling of alienation from each other. You know, this is not a new concept, this feeling of isolation. So often we can feel like we're floating aimlessly, untethered, and alone. And sometimes we can feel like surprised when we bump up against another person or into another person, bump up into them emotionally or not necessarily physically, obviously, but bump into them. Your stuff bumps into their stuff and feathers get ruffled by the impact of this bump. It's like as if we're surprised because we're all thinking that we're flying solo, so that there are other people out there, and so we get bumped and ruffled. But obviously we're not. We're not flying solo. Everywhere we turn, there are other people. And we're calling them strangers, but they're not. And ultimately, just this expanded view of thinking of even strangers as part of our greater human family, our greater global family. I know for most of us, we've never heard of this or even considered this concept, and it's relatively new for me too. So it's hard to conceive of a random person at the grocery store as family. We go around with this idea of like, I don't know you, you don't know my life, you don't know me. But in reality, at some deeper level, at some very root level, we do all know each other much better than we think, and we're all sharing very common human experiences. So I lead this group called Introverts Unite. It's people from all over the country, even sometimes in different countries all over the world, calling in each month, and complete strangers to each other. Most of the time, there are people that have been consistently coming for over 8 years, but most of the time we have new people and people that have never met each other before. And what we're sharing is just this common human experience with one another, realizing that we're not alone. Realizing they're sharing their desire for human connection. They're sharing, the pain and struggles of shyness. And then they're realizing that they're not alone in those desires for human connection and that similar common pain um, that sometimes people with introversion experience. It's not always, they don't always experience the shyness, but it can definitely go hand in hand at times. So they come to the meeting and they feel isolated, they feel disconnected, but they leave knowing that they're not alone in their experiences and that what they want, what they fear, what hurts, what they enjoy, those shared hopes and fears are they have in common with the other people in the group. So thinking of this question, what is it to know we are not alone? What is it to know that others feel the same as us? When we consider that both our dreams, our hopes, our fears, our anguish are shared with other people and that we're not alone in that, it can bridge the gaps, including the people that are the strangers or including the people that we don't consider family or, we've never really had deep conversations with. We can know at some basic level that we're all operating pretty much from the same fears, hopes, dreams. So it helps us to break free and shatter that illusion that we are perpetually separated, that there is, in fact, a commonality and a connection, and we just open our eyes to see it. And so, like with this site, it's a new perception. We can have a new perception of what family is instead of a rigid definition. Um, we can define family in a more open, more inclusive, and more global way. So family is not only blood ties, but family can also be so much more. So I was adopted, and I grew up not knowing my birth family and not being related by blood to the people in my family. But it made no difference because ultimately they were family. So even as a child, I knew that family did not need to mean related by blood. It had more of an expansive view, or I had more of an expansive view. As an adult living away from my family, my family's out of state, I began to create my own family, which I call my friend family. And my relationships with these people are amazing. They are, my friends are uplifting, they're humble, they're respectful, they're honoring, they're cherishing, they're present, they're compassionate, they're kind, they're patient. And I feel 100% totally accepted by them, and I offer that same to them. As my family, I feel responsible for my friend family. So I definitely feel like these people are my tribe. And every day I continue to whittle down my concept of what family means and embrace what family is and can be. So the question then is, why stop there? Why stop at offering my friend family uplift, humility, respect, honoring, cherishing, presence, compassion, kindness, and patience? Why stop there? Why not extend it then to workplace family and then ultimately to global human family, to everyone I interact with, everyone we interact with? Can everyone we interact with be viewed as family? So what if we broaden that view? What if it was not only I'm responsible for my immediate family and my friend family, but I'm also responsible for my work family and responsible to my work family and global family? So I know that that can be a very overwhelming concept to have so much responsibility to so many people. If we think about our immediate family, okay, I'm responsible to and for my immediate family. Then maybe we can expand that, okay, to my friend family. But when we get into the concept of being responsible to and for our workplace family and our greater human global family, that can definitely be daunting and an overwhelming concept to put our minds around. So we're continuously thinking like, no, let me think small, let me think my small circle, or let me fly solo. Um, and sometimes we believe wholeheartedly in our isolating solitude. We believe that we are solo. So I used to be a high school teacher, and in learning how the human mind learns best, in my teacher training, we learned the concept of chunking. It sounds weird. Chunking is taking a large amount of information and breaking it down into small, manageable pieces or steps for learning, for practice, and for retention. So in the case of this very large and certainly overwhelming concept of I am responsible for every human I interact with within my immediate family, friend family, workplace family, and greater human family. So big concept. So how do we break that down? So just breaking it down into smaller, manageable pieces and steps. It's a lot about defining, redefining, defining and redefining, broadening and expanding the understanding and scope, asking questions, reconceptualizing, applying, and resolving. So I'm just going to walk us through like kind of what that means. When I think about chunking and I think about chunking out this overwhelming concept of I am responsible for every human I interact with within my immediate family, friend family, workplace family, and greater human family. What does it mean? How do we get there? How do we go from where we are to like this expanded view of who we're responsible for and what is family? So first, I'm going to say let's define what it is to be responsible. Responsibility means look this definition up. It means the state of being responsible, answerable, or accountable for something within one's power, control, or management. And then I say, okay, let's go ahead and define family. What does family mean? So look this one up too. Family means a group of two or more persons related by birth, marriage, or adoption who live together. And we generally feel that responsibility towards our families. So this is where we kind of expand and broaden our concept. So instead of considering family the people we live with under one roof who we see daily, let's instead consider also our close friends. So we may not live with our close friends, but we do see them regularly. And let's consider the people then in our workplaces. We also see them daily and we share a workspace with them. Now let's go ahead and go bigger. Let's consider strangers who we don't see often, but we do share a home with, a very large home with. And we do, in a sense, live together with all of these families, right? So if the basic definition of family means that we are living together and related, then we certainly can go from that small micro view of family to a greater macro view of family, and that we do live on this planet together with every single one of the layers of families that we're talking about here. So because we live together with all of our families, we could say that we are then responsible for all of our families, or we are accountable to all of our families and family members. So even if we accept these broad concepts of family and responsibility, where we often get overwhelmed is the aspect of responsibility as applied to our greater human family, um, which relates to within one's power, control, or management, that part of that definition. So what is within my power, control, and management? What is within our power, control, and management as individuals when we are thinking about our responsibility to our greater human family, global family, workplace family, friend family? So it can easily feel too big to think of the responsibility to the greater human family, thinking of that as I have any power, control, or management. But we're just thinking like, how could this possibly be? How could I possibly have this amount of power, control, or management over the greater responsibility of everyone? I'm just one person. So it's just a thought that we typically work with and carry around with us. I'm just one person. What can I do? What can I do? What impact do I actually make? So here's where we get like into the idea of like, yes, you are one person. You are one person in a family. In fact, you are one person in multiple families, your friend family, your workplace family, your greater human family. And as a member of those families, let's talk about like what that means. So, you think about your immediate family and what it means to be a member of your immediate family. Well, there's going to be certain responsibilities and you're going to take care of one another and you're going to try to support each other at multiple levels, physically, financially, emotionally, in all these different ways. You're going to show up for your people, right? Your immediate family. And then, if you expand that to your friend family, you're going to do your best to show up for people. How do we show up for that greater expanded view of family, the workplace family, the greater global human family? So just stepping into what that means, it just basically means at the bottom of all of it, it means that you matter. It means that your voice, your contribution matters. Your words, your actions, your reactions, your perceptions, your thoughts, your beliefs, your verbal tonation, your nonverbal body language matter. How you think of and treat your fellow family members matters. What you believe your fellow family members think of you matters. And even more so, how you think of yourself and treat yourself matters. Because all of this has an impact. How you think of yourself and how you treat yourself will ripple out on how you treat others and how you believe they perceive and treat you. And ultimately, that impact, kind of that mirroring impact, how you think of yourself, how you treat others, how you think they should treat you, how you perceive them treating you, how you perceive them thinking of you, all of that cannot be unraveled. It's just this ball of yarn that's just completely jumbled up, and we cannot, we are able to unravel that through some inner work, but if we're not doing that inner work to unravel that, basically what we're doing is we're walking around with these concepts, perceptions, and thoughts of ourselves and others, and we are making an impact on each other from those perceptions and thoughts. We are absolutely affecting each other. You are affecting the people in your life from having a view that they don't like you, that they're against you, that they're judging you. You're impacting them, and you're impacting yourself, and that impact is rippling out. And so it's just important to understand that ripple effect. So what you say, what you think, what you do matters. Um, you do have an impact on others and your families, different levels of families. Your thoughts, your words, your actions are within your power and your control and your management. And therefore, you and only you are responsible for your personal impact on others in your immediate family, your friend family, your work family, and your global family. So I'm going to repeat that. You and only you are responsible for your personal impact on others. And you do have it within your power, control, and management to manage um, your thoughts, manage what you say, manage your words, manage your actions, manage your perceptions. You do. And we should. And we should take ownership of that because it is making an impact on each other in such a big way. So what will you do with this responsibility? What will you do with this understanding that you matter and that you matter and you impact others through every interaction? So it is a big responsibility, but it is not a responsibility that is beyond, if we can move into that place, it can be a responsibility that's within our comprehension. I do have an impact. I do matter. And I do have power over what I say, think, and do that impacts other people in my families. So one way to keep this understanding top of mind is to say the following resolution to yourself. Um, this is one that I've been working with too. I am willing to accept that I do impact the people in my life, all of them. I take responsibility for my impact on my family, friend family, work family, and greater human family. I know my impact ripples out to my greater human families, and the impact I make is within my power, and I choose the impact I want to have on the people in my life every day. So As we expand this view of family and we are responsible for how much power we actually have in our small corner of the world and realize and truly understand that we matter and the impact of our words, actions, thoughts matter, we can step into a completely new way of being with ourselves and with each other. So this is all part of that inner revolution and our radical shift within that can only ripple outward from you. So my wish for you is completely step into the fact that you are the catalyst in your life and also a catalyst in the lives of the people that you interact with daily. You've been listening to Dear Catalyst Coach with me, your host, Rebecca Cooley. Thanks for being here. Tune in weekly on Tuesdays for new episodes. Remember to subscribe so you can be the first to know when new episodes are released. A little bit more about me. I've been helping leaders in Fortune 100 and Fortune 500 companies achieve their career and communication goals for over 15 years, helping them to create catalytic and lasting change for themselves, their employees, their organizations, and their families. Overcoming hurdles of limiting mindsets, anxiety, lack of confidence, fear, and more. I was named top 16 coaches in Raleigh. I graduated with honors with an MPA concentrating in strategic leadership. I hold a BA with a concentration in speech communication, graduating magna cum laude. I am a certified master coach and a certified meditation instructor with over 1,500 hours of stress reduction training. So you're ready for a partner to join you during this revolutionary time in your life? You can reach me at www.catalystactioncoaching.com. I offer private executive coaching and corporate training for teams globally. I'm excited to connect with you, wishing you lots of peace, joy, and freedom.